podcast and take this walk with me.
Welcome back to the Three Parallels podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for who's trying to become. If that is you, you are in the right place because I got a guest for you today that is gonna knock your socks off. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. Because this woman, this sister from another mister, is a sister that I didn't even know I had, and she just bust me upside the head with a honey bun not too long ago. The organic connection was just that. She's a helping professional as well. She's a psychologist. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mom. She's a wife. She does everything. The better question is, what is it that you don't do? Lose. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing you to the one, the only Dr. Colleen Long. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for that intro. That was amazing. And thank you for having me. I love doing this stuff, and this is just going to be fun.
Absolutely. We ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
You with me. Like,
I know.
how you going to hang out with me and not have fun?
I know. And I have to share, you did the podcast for me yesterday, and my husband was just like, what were you in there cackling about? Like, I was just laughing and it was a belly laugh, like a full on for 60 minutes. It was just the most therapeutic. I mean, that's one of the things, right? They say with stress reset, like with burnout, crying and laughter, the universal languages. Those are the two things that reset you. And I felt very reset yesterday.
I love that. And I appreciate you for sharing it because it's vulnerable, it's honest. And you already starting a conversation in the basement. Like, come on. Like, how we just go, you just gonna walk in here in the basement like, yo, let's go deep. Because that's where we are. And what we shared on your show, and I can't wait to share with the listeners, you, all of you, and everything you bring to the table, we was on the Titanic at the bar. Like, that's how deep we were in conversation. And now we're switching gears where now you get to be on my show. And one of the things that I want everybody to know about you is this current version. How do you go from being a psychologist and transitioning to an entrepreneur, podcast host, and all these endeavors that you do? How did you make this pivot, and where are you now?
I would say that I've always been an entrepreneur who happened to become a psychologist.
Ooh, bars. Okay,
So,
tell us more.
yeah, if you look, I mean, way far back, starting in, college, I created something called Peerceptions. It was, I mean, basically like my goal was to be Yelp, right?
Wow.
And there was a local write-up in the paper, and they were like, this is going to be the bathroom wall of the internet. And I just had no idea what I was doing. And then I started Freud TV, which was basically for like clinicians who wanted to promote their books and things like that on mainstream media outlets. So I've always had the bug for creativity and to be able to suspend reality as a visionary and see it. I think the problem is I've had, what's that Mark Twain quote, with enough self-confidence and ignorance, success is sure. It's like I've always had the self-confidence way misplaced and ignorance. The success we're still waiting on.
Here we go again.
We're still waiting on that. But that's truly, when I look back, it was like, gosh, I could see what I was trying to do, but I didn't have the business chops yet to really sit down and come up with a business plan of like, can you do this? And is there a market for this? And how would you market this? And what would your infrastructure be? And do you have enough capital? I was just like, let's go, let's make a website and they will come. That was the idea, you know? And it was really after, all the while I was doing that, I had my insurance plan, which was I was going to grad school. I was like, I'm going to get that piece of paper. And then if all else falls through, like I'll always be a psychologist and that sort of thing. And largely that's what I did for 20 years. I did couples therapy work, and then I transitioned to psychological testing. I just sort of fell into having one of the only psychological testing practices in Massachusetts that accepted insurance. And because I knew a lot of tech, I was able to make it work within insurance. And notoriously, it's really hard to do that because of how much time it takes. Anyway, all that to be said, I bootstrapped this company over 10 years into a business that I sold for 7 figures this summer. And that was one of the hugest accomplishments for me in terms of like a tangible thing of like, you did it. You
Mm-hmm.
created this thing out of nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nothing to, to bat your eyes at, which is, I think I typically will do. I'll kind of think, oh, well, anybody could do that. So that piece has been great, but to get there, especially in the last year, was one of the hardest, most heartbreaking years of my life as a
Wow.
clinician.
Wow. You got to tell us about it. But before we share, number one, we get flowers on this show, and I'm giving you a whole room full of roses, all red
Uh,
and different colors that you like, because congratulations. Congratulations. You are a success story. You know this, and I need you to know even more what you've done. People don't do. Number one, people don't know how. Number two, they don't do it. So you had to become someone you've never been in order to do that. And it paid you back tenfold, 10x.
yeah,
So job well done. Congratulations.
thank
I'm
you.
proud of you. I'm impressed by you. You
Thank
did
you.
it. And with your humility, no one would ever know you walking around here doing your thing. No one would ever know that you're doing as well as you're doing because of your humility, because of your authenticity, because of your heart, because of your passion. And those are the people that I want in my circle. So thank you for being
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Thanks.
So this hard year, because now we back in the basement and it's dark down here.
Yeah.
And because you are okay with allowing me or us in your basement in order to talk about those difficult things, because those difficult things was needed and necessary for you to hang out here in the living room. So tell us
Mhm.
about the darkness.
Um, so over 10 years, built this thing and collected some people that were just really good at doing what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a great biller, I had a great director of operations, and the problem was only they knew how to run this ship that we built together.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know this side, she didn't know this side.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own keys to the kingdom, and there
Yeah.
was no SOP. There was no, like, if this person, something happened to them the next day, somebody else could step in.
Yeah.
And so as things started to get better, I realized, okay, I'm going to double down. I'm going to invest in my education with business, because I don't have an MBA and nobody teaches this stuff in grad school,
Right.
and understand what systems are and what an SOP is and
Mhm.
how to forecast and, all of that stuff that they didn't teach you. So I got into Vistage and EO and second in command and a lot of these. I mean, invested well over $50,000 in 1 year in just my own self-development. And as I started, as you do when you read and you start to learn how much you don't know.
Yes, indeed.
And there was so much. I mean, I read the E-Myth, and then I read the Rockefeller Habits, and it was like, oh my God, these are all the things I've been doing so wrong for so long.
Mm.
And but I was excited about it. I was like, okay, this is, I know what to do. I know what I need to do. The problem was that you had this family that had been created over a decade that was very complacent
Mhm.
in their roles, right?
Yeah.
And it's no different than any sort of family system where you go in and you say they're dysfunctionally functional. Like,
Hmm.
it works,
Yeah.
but it ain't healthy, right? That's what was going on with us. There's a
Yeah.
lot of sick contracts floating around
Wow.
but it worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went in and I disrupted the system.
Mm.
And while I thought, well, you're just doing your due diligence as a business owner, you're learning, you're getting better, and you're coming in and going, look at the stuff I learned. And now we're going to bring in this person and they're going to do this. Not everybody was happy about that change. Not everybody likes change.
Yeah.
And so there was quiet quitting. There was a lot of resentment. People have been with me for a long time. All of a sudden, somebody's coming in with a, fancy, well-heeled MBA degree. And now, okay, they're going to tell me about this ship I built.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of that. And as you know, when you're running a practice, you're doing everything.
Yes,
You
indeed.
are your HR, your culture builder, your clinician, your everybody else's therapist, so it's like I knew I could see what was happening, but I was like, you guys are adults, you're gonna have to figure it out, because
Hmm.
I can't do that right now. And the some of the most important people during that time resigned because they didn't like the guard change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it completely destabilized my business. So we had the change healthcare, which was something that was outside of our control, the breach where there was just months where we just didn't get payment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so initially I had to have a talk with all my clinicians like, hey guys, it's going to be tight for a while. This is what's going on. And I was completely transparent, but like, we can't pay you until we get paid.
Yeah.
And luckily, most were understanding. They understood it was sort of a national thing that was going on. But at the end of the day, people aren't going to keep working for you if you can't keep paying them.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I brought in other people that were leaders to really be the operators for me, I was great at the ideas, wasn't great at the implementation and rollout. So everybody in my organization had whiplash because one day I'd be like, all right, we're using Jot form. Nope, we're using this. And they're like, wait a minute, what?
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody likes to move at that pace.
Yeah.
And I was pissing people off. And so bringing in an operator, I thought was a good thing because
Mm-hmm.
she could be like, hey, we're going to do this now. And she would roll it out. Was not a great thing. And people started to defect, quiet, quit. And you got to think too, this was post COVID. People
Mm-hmm.
are still working from home.
Yeah.
It's really hard to track. We had people that were working for two other companies and
Wow.
billing us overtime, right?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So we had a lot of that stuff going on and got really, really hard. And so what started to happen is that my house was on the line. I had leveraged my house to try to make payroll during that breach. And
Mm.
until we could find a biller who our main biller was now gone to get us back on track. And we were sinking further and further into debt. So
Mm-hmm.
eventually, I remember meeting with a bankruptcy attorney and going, what are my options here?
Yeah.
Like, can I just like can I just dissolve my company? Like I can't lose my house.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no, you're pretty fucked. Like
Mm.
to hear a bankruptcy attorney who's heard it all and he's like, no, it's just, this is the end of the road
Wow.
was like, how did I get here? I
Wow.
was a good girl all these
Mm.
years and did all the right things. And like, all I'm doing is helping people with mental health issues.
Yeah.
Why am I about to lose my house?
Yeah.
And so then all of that was happening. It was very scary. There was really I was like, how, outside of selling my body parts, how am I going to get out of this?
Mm.
Because it just, the math's not mathing
Yeah.
what we're
Yeah.
bringing in versus what we're paying out. So
Mm-hmm.
people were getting upset, understandably. And every morning I would wake up to a new email telling me what a terrible boss I was, what a terrible leader I was. If I owned this practice, I would do things this way, threatening to go to the AG because they weren't getting their pay. And it was all me. It wasn't like I'm the CEO protected in this 17-person infrastructure. It's just me,
Yeah. Yeah.
and even to this day, I can't check my email. It's hard for me to open my email and my voicemail because of the volume that I was
Mm-hmm.
getting. So that last year, although we had a great track record for 9 years prior, that last year was really just little t traumatic for me in
Mm-hmm.
that there was not a lot of sleep going on. And eventually I found a buyer to buy the business and it's going to be great now. Like they have capital, they have the ability to build an infrastructure, they have the ability to wait out if change pulls that stuff again. They have the ability to hire, SEO and a front person and a new office and all of that. So they're going to be fine now.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly don't know what would have happened if I hadn't sold it.
Wow. Wow. So
Yeah.
selling the company allowed you to get out of the debt and basically start
Hmm.
over or pivot, I would
Hmm.
say.
Hmm.
So let me ask, because you could have stayed on that boat that was sinking. You were on a
Hmm.
sinking ship. You knew it. You could have stayed there. You could have got scared. You could have played safe. You could have, but you didn't. So what was it for you to decide? I have to become her, all caps, HER, not the
Hmm.
R&B singer with the guitar. You had to
Hmm.
become her in order to pivot and decide that was that's a 10-year-old child that you decided it's time. How did you make that
Hmm.
transition? And that's a big deal, Colleen.
Hmm. How did I make the transition that I was ready to sell?
Yeah. How did you pivot to,
Hmm.
I have to let this go in order for me to live?
It would be the same way if you were in a burning building and someone asked you, how did you make the decision to jump out of the window?
Wow. 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 That's powerful, Colleen. That's
I mean,
powerful.
there was no choice, it was
Mm,
swallowing me up and there it was the worst. I mean, also I was still doing all the clinical too.
hmm
So I'm the end sign off person on all of these reports. So people are going to the board and this is taking too long. I don't understand, it was an intense amount of pressure. And so I just felt like there's got to be an easier way here. Like I didn't get in it for this. And I understand there's some psychologists that will do like child custody evals and forensic work, and that's part of the job. They build a thick skin and they're used to getting raked over the coals all day, but that ain't me. I am very sensitive.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like it bothers me. It sits with me if somebody writes me a bad review or accuses me of being unethical or anything like that. So it really it still took its toll, but there was a larger sort of piece happening. And I love David Snark. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He actually passed away a couple years ago, but I trained under him when I was doing couples therapy. And he talks about the crucible approach. That was his approach. And he talks about when we get under intense heat, it's
hmm
only under intense heat and pressure that we truly change, like a
hmm
mold. And that year was the crucible for me where it was like, you can't just keep doing this thing. The field no longer wants you and can no longer sustain you.
Ooh, ooh, Colleen, time out, Colleen. Listen, I usually kick people off the show that be doing what you're doing right now. I'm talking about boot, pink slip. You gotta go. You you keep this up. I'm getting you out of here. Colleen, that's a word. That's a testimony. That's a story. That's life changing. And you see it, you live it, you've lived through this. And now you have a different story. And
Mm-hmm.
some people they don't because they don't pivot, you know?
No.
And that's what you did. And I'm so
Yeah.
proud, I'm so impressed because you're still in it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in a place and space that you can still share while you're in it. You know,
Right.
that's a really
Right.
big deal. How where did this tenacity, audaciousness, where did this
Mm-hmm.
courage, where did this come from? And how did you develop this ability to be hypersensitive and still have room for you and anybody else who wants some?
One, I don't ever want to let that go, that hypersensitivity piece,
Yeah.
because that's my empath,
Whew.
like that's my instrument.
Yes.
That's the thing that people go, oh, she gets it. She hears me. Like she's here with me. She's not just kicking the can, waiting until the hour's up. She's in it.
Mm.
So that's a gift, and I never want to give that up. And also, it makes me a better parent. Like when my kids need something, instead of me just projecting onto them whatever I need, I can really hear what they need. So that's something that I don't want to let go of. But what keeps me still going or resilient in the face of all of this muck, I think when you grow up poor, you grow up with a scarcity mentality. Like money is not always going to be there. And for the most part, it's not. So
Mm.
you need to be thinking 18 steps ahead
Yeah.
all the time
Yeah.
to make sure you're safe.
Mm.
And right now, I'm so far from being homeless. Like I'll be good. Even if I
Come
lose my
on.
house,
Come on.
I'll figure it out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can go down to like the condos or the apartments down the road and I'll be okay. And there's a
hmm
roof over my head and I'll figure it out. But in my little child brain, I'm like 3 seconds from making the wrong mistake.
Mm. Elaine, you are doing some healing. Okay. Okay, my girl. You are doing some healing in this room right now. And that's why this platform, this podcast is so important for stories like this.
Mhm.
Because you have the ability to tell the story from a lot of different perspectives because you've lived through all of them. So
Yeah,
if you could, because now I've been trying to get us out the basement, but you're like,
I'm
no,
so
we
sorry.
we are here and we're not going
Right,
nowhere. So since
right,
we down here hanging out on the couch, now let's go to that little girl's room. That
right.
little girl's room that's in the basement that, connected to scarcity and poverty and that experience gave you gator scales. And
Hmm.
that's what you had to have in order to even begin that practice and grow it the way that you did and sell it. So
Hmm.
tell us about the little girl who lived in that experience, because based off of who you are now, no one would ever have known if you didn't share.
Yeah. Yeah. As a little girl, I was always just sort of, I mean, I think when you grow up or your parent, like I had a single mom, and my mom was always sort of like, well, must be nice for them. Every single thing must be nice for them.
Mm,
And so that was the narrative that she carried around. And so as kids, we internalize or download that software ourselves and think, well, there's them and then there's us,
yeah. Yeah.
and I thought, well, I think for a long time then it just gave me this inferiority complex of like, just don't be found out, really. Like you
Hmm.
can like try to be like everybody else, but like you just somebody's going to find you out. And I didn't necessarily trust myself as a person to figure out my life. I thought I'd just have to marry right, marry rich, marry a lawyer,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But I would drive everybody around me nuts if I was a stay-at-home mom. If I was just sitting at home making cookies, there was something more for me, for sure. And I love now, I mean, I really, if you ask me like, and now what's the plan? I am very much in the middle of that. Like, I do not have a pretty bow wrapped around this thing right now. I really don't know what that is going to look like. Ask me a year from now and I might know. But the novelty of not knowing versus where I was this time last year, where I knew everything and
Mm,
didn't love it, is so much better. And so I think for me, one of the biggest keys to healing for me and change was Spravato. I wanted to actually just network with somebody that was doing the ketamine infusions for our patients. I was just trying to build our referral sources. And I could not get in front of the guy. I could not get in front of the doctor that owned this place.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll just do a session so I can start talking to him about what we do.
Yeah.
And I did it not really expecting anything. And it changed my entire brain. It changed my entire brain. And the only way I can describe it in a really short, succinct way is that it takes all the frameworks and the preconceived notions you have and the little traumas you have around things like, don't do that, you're too small, you can't do that, people are going to find you out. What if people find you out? And it goes almost like what we do with CBT. And then what? And then what?
Yeah.
And then what?
Hmm.
And it goes to the nth degree. But instead of just verbally doing it in CBT, it's like the fulcrum of the core of our brain
Yeah.
that changes.
Hmm.
And there was a moment where, when I was doing these sessions, it felt like I died. It was
Wow.
like, if they find you out, you'll die. Like that
Ooh.
was like death was associated with that. And I think it's like ego death. It's got to be
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But I went there and it was really scary. And I remember waking up and having tears. Like I was really afraid, but
Hmm.
then I wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a very much like, come get me. Like,
Let's
come get me. You know, like
go.
as long as I have my kids and all my limbs, there's nothing that you can take from me,
Beautiful. Oh, that's so
you
good. So,
know?
so I got to dive into this because a lot of the listeners, this is new. This is the first time they've been exposed to what you're talking about. So I want to make sure we give some detail, as much as
Yeah.
you want to share,
Yeah.
because this is your norm. Okay, this is just Colleen being Colleen. Okay,
I
but
know.
you need to know.
TMI always.
I love it. I'm here for it. This is the show
Uh,
for it. It's honest. It's honest. It's
yeah.
vulnerability. So, for those who don't know, if you could explain, because I'm curious to hear about a couple of things. First, a couple aspects of the Rockefeller habit. What's Spravato? Were you doing
Hmm.
ketamine assisted therapy? What is ketamine? Like, if you could just be that Professor Long for a hot moment
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
educate us on this, so people who don't know now they can become exposed to an
Hmm.
opportunity for them to have the healing experience that you had.
Sure. So, Rockefeller Habits is very much about, and they've like renamed it. It's like scaling for success. That's like the newer version, but
Mhm.
it's about the systems that you need to put in place to actually run a thriving business, not just a surviving business. So, an example I'll give you is like, you could put the most brilliant SOP into place for your practice. And
And
you're
real
like,
quick,
when a patient call,
real
yeah.
quick, what's an SOP too? We got to be mindful
Oh,
of.
yes, yes. So, and this was all stuff I didn't know
Yeah,
before until I did the stuff, but standard operating procedure.
got it.
So, just like corporate speak, like, what do you do when you do this, that sort of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
So, let's say you put together the most brilliant SOP procedure in your database for like, this is how you want your intake coordinators to answer calls. You want them to answer with empathy. You want them to say, like, thank you for being so vulnerable and calling. And I really appreciate it. It took a lot to get here. And you just feel really proud of yourself after you wrote it. You're like, this is great. This is the best SOP ever. And you email it to your people and you go there and it shall be done, right? And there you go, right? And you put your head on your little pillow and you're like, I just won business tonight. I just won. And then cut to 6 months later, you hop in on a call and you better be using the EHRs that record the calls, right? You hop in on one of your calls and you listen to your intake coordinator and they're like, yeah, no, no, like I just don't like think that we're gonna like do that right now. I think we're like kind of busy, but you can like always call back. And you're like, what happened?
Colleen, I'm in tears. I'm in, stop. I'm kicking you off. I'm getting you out. I'm getting you out. Somebody call Uber. Get Colleen out of here. My the the voice. Oh my god.
Uh,
Okay, rest of the show. Please talk in that voice. No,
okay.
I'm joking. Don't do that. Don't
No,
do
I won't
that.
do it to you.
That
I
is
won't do it to you.
wild. That's
You know,
wild.
and every person who's ever managed employees has had that experience where they're like, I put this thing in place. How did we get this far
Wow.
from the vision I had for it? And so, Rockefeller Habits, one of the best pearls I took from that was part of the SOP and the implementation is overseeing the implementation.
Mm,
If you're having a meeting with someone and you're like, I want you to do this, this is your KPI or your key predictive index. This is what is going to tell me you're doing a good job.
yeah.
I want to see, I'm going to check in with you next week and I'm going to see how many of these you did.
Come on.
That's the other piece,
Come on.
you know?
Yeah.
KPIs, that was another big one that I took away from there. Like I would normally just meet with people and it would be a bunch of feelings, not facts. So
Hmm.
my COO would be like, Colleen, I'm just so impressed with the synergy of everyone and they're just getting along so well. And it's just like wonderful. And I would get off and be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. Like I'm just like a mogul.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I would look at our P&L and go, oh, there is not synergy. Synergy is not what the word that I would use to describe what's happening here. I think we have a different definition of synergy. And in the book, it said, well, we do facts, not feelings.
Mm,
So a KPI is a fact. How many calls did you convert at intake to actual patients?
yeah.
That is a KPI that I can decide. It was your ROI, if I'm paying you $200,000 a year as a COO, was it 3 to 5x?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
like that changed the whole way I thought about business. And it wasn't personal anymore. It wasn't like, I don't feel like you're doing a good job. It was like, here's the numbers, show me where
Yes.
I'm wrong,
Yes. Yes.
you know?
Ooh,
So
ooh,
that's the yeah, that's the piece, like the business pieces that I just will never ever forget. Those are the hardest lessons learned, but the ones that I'll never forget. As far as the ketamine Spravato, the IV ketamine is still not and will never be FDA approved because it's already being used for surgery. So it's like already a procedure. It would be like not like it's already there.
yeah.
Um, and so Spravato is the nasal version of that. So
Okay.
just much lighter. And essentially, in a very short way, it goes in and it, like, if you think of the brain as being a series of columns that are like capped, right? And
Hmm.
everything's capped. And
Yeah.
inside is your GABA and your dopamine and your serotonin and your brain derived neurotropic factor. Like you've got all this stuff. Ketamine takes those caps and they open them and they shake them
Hmm.
and they refresh it.
Yeah.
And then they put the caps back on. It's like a car wash for your brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
and they get out all the old like mitochondrial yuck that's just
Mhm.
junk that's been there.
Yeah.
And so that your brain is really fresh. So if you were using, let's say, trazodone at its highest level to go to sleep every night, you might only need a very small portion of that because now you're back to square one where the brain doesn't need all that stuff. It's clean.
Yeah.
And it also helps to reconfigure the way that we conceptualize stories.
Mhm.
So if someone is looking at me and they're frowning as I'm talking, ordinarily I would go, it's because I'm stupid. It's because what I'm saying is not
Yeah.
impactful, or it doesn't make sense, or it's my southern accent that's getting in the way. They're judging me because of that. But that's an old story.
Yes.
Now, another story, another possibility is that that person's like, this person's going way too fast. I don't understand what they're saying. It's too much. Like, I feel inferior. And so then I want to bring them into the conversation by telling
Mhm.
myself that story.
Yeah.
So that's what it blew open for me, really, was psychologically just to let go of the fear. Like, there's really nothing to fear.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Colleen, I asked for it and you gave it. You gave it. You're such a great professor. Listen,
Oh, thank
you're
you.
such a phenomenal. Because if you don't get that, for those listening, you ain't get it, rewind. For those, listen to it again a few times. Go to the bathroom, come back, listen to it again. This is powerful stuff because it connects to healing. It connects to the basement and going deep and recognizing the stories, the narratives related to who I used to be. If I'm
Mhm.
not that person anymore, why am I still listening and moving to the stories of somebody that I'm not? And
Mhm.
even the person I'm trying to become, there's a story there too, and it's a whisper, but we don't hear it because of the noise of who we used to be. Colleen, you out here killing it in these therapy streets. Come on.
Thank you.
Come on. So we've been in the basement. We spent a lot of time here, and it's a great place to be. And I appreciate you for allowing us in because this is your place and your space. And because it's it's really well done and it's yours. You've invited us in. Now it's time for us to go. I'm pulling us up out of here because now we're finna go upstairs to the kitchen because I want to see you cook. So, question: if you were to describe three versions, three parallels, because you gave us so much today, who would you or how would you describe who you were, who you are, who you're becoming? You can use a word, phrase,
Ooh.
whatever comes to you. Those three versions of you, who are they?
Who I was scared, who I am excited, who I'm becoming a killer.
Ooh, look out, baby. Mike Myers' sister is
Mm.
in the building. Okay. Mike Myers' sister is in the building.
Take it out of
Come
context.
on. No mask.
Yeah.
No mask.
No,
Look
but
at
just like the first word that came was like boss. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a boss anymore.
boss days
I've
over
been a
with.
boss. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just want to crush it. I just want to be a, like, where they're just like, she's a fucking savage.
That's what I'm
Like,
talking
that's
about.
what I want.
Okay. I'm a savage. Ooh, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. So, for those listening, the Three Parallels podcast playlist, that song, I'm a Savage, is on there.
Hmm.
Dive in, tell a friend, just know it came from Colleen. Okay.
And Beyonce.
And Beyonce, let's go. Hey, B, I'm ready for you when you get ready.
Yep.
So back to where we were. Back to where we were. Beehive, I'm ready for y'all too. I got all the honeys. All the
Yeah.
honeys. Honey
All the honey
buns.
buns.
That is.
Honey
Honey
buns.
buns. That is.
That'll be
Come
the name of
through.
your fan base. Like
The
the
honey,
beehive, you'll have the honey
the honey
buns.
bun. I'm with it. Hey, where my honey buns
Yeah.
at?
Yeah.
We actually
Perfect.
gators. We honey buns too, though.
Oh,
I
right.
like both of them. I
Mm.
like both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Where my honey buns at? Where my
Right.
gators at? It's all work. It will all work.
Yeah.
This is what I mean by kicking folks off because you make me better. You make the show better. We
Yeah.
make us better. And if you're listening to this, you just leveled up.
Mm.
Congratulations. Congratulations. It ain't cost you nothing but your time and attention. Getting back to where we've been, Colleen, I'm curious. Out of all these years of life, 20 years in this profession, entrepreneurial, mogul, monster, murderer, savage, what have you learned about other people and what have you learned about yourself?
Uh, there really are no bad people. There's just bad ideas.
Ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar.
Everybody just wants to be witnessed in
Mm,
their life. Everybody just wants a witness to their story. And it doesn't necessarily have to be at the Benjamin Franklin level of like, look at all these things I invented. I invented,
yeah, yeah,
electricity or what, it's like, it doesn't have to be that, but everybody wants to know that they were here and that they're seen and that they're part of humanity.
mhm,
And I think if you look at all the like tragedies of people that you're just like, that's a bad seed,
yeah.
it was really where the wires got crossed, where they just never felt heard or seen and
Yeah.
just carried the wrong narrative for too long. And
Wow.
so whenever I want to connect with someone and I feel really intimidated by them, I think they were a baby in their mom's belly. Like that's where everybody started.
Yeah, yeah. Mm, that's beautiful. Colleen,
Hmm.
you dropping gems, you dropping honey buns. Okay, you came over in here. I hope y'all microwaves is open and ready because she dropping honey buns. I don't eat my honey buns cold. I don't know about y'all, but mine
No,
gotta be
that would
warm.
be insane.
So get the microwaves open because Colleen, you are dropping gems. So that's about other people. What do you learn about you? Because there's so much. But
Yeah.
what's some of those, or what's one of those things you would say you learned about yourself?
Hmm. That I'm a good person. I feel like maybe it felt like I wasn't for so long.
Mm-hmm.
That like I was only to be discovered, that I wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
Enough? Yeah, that's what it is. Enough or couldn't play. The playing field wasn't even. I didn't come from the right side of the tracks. And it
Hmm.
was only a matter of time before people would discover it. And then now as I get older, I'm like, a lot of idiots in the world. Like, Jesus. Like, what? I was at the UPS store and the guy was just staring at me, and I was like, really? Like, this generation is doomed. So a little bit is me just becoming old and crotchety, but also I'm like, Colleen, it's not that hard. Like,
So
you're okay.
you
Like, you're
speaking
gonna be
facts.
okay.
Yes, you're speaking facts. Colleen,
Yeah.
you have done some work. You have done some work. I'm so impressed because those who do work and have done the work can see others who have as well. And speaking of the work, I'm curious, as a psychologist, your experience as a client, is that a thing? Was that a thing? Because it seems like for you, you go at a high level no matter what you do personally or professionally. So I'm curious, in that arena, has that been a thing?
Have my own work.
Yeah, have your own
Oh yeah.
therapist though.
Oh yeah, all the time because I'm always changing and evolving and I'll get tired of my therapist over time. I'm like, okay, we've done all the tricks up her sleeve. We're good. Like I know where you're going with this and
Hold on.
it's I've
All right,
already,
that is it. Stop, listener. Hey, I need 10 people to get on Uber right now. Put Colleen's address in and get her off this show. I need Lyft. I need Uber.
yeah,
I need Gator.
yeah, yeah. Because
So, so real quick. Again, this is your norm. This is not the norm. This is your norm, though, Colleen, because
yeah,
a lot of people have a therapist and they've been working with it for 20 years, keying and all that, not recognizing they're paying
yeah,
for a friend.
no,
So,
yeah,
are you saying that it's okay to outgrow your therapist? It's okay to fire your therapist? Is that what you're saying
yeah,
right now?
yeah,
Tell us,
absolutely.
tell us more. This is new info.
Absolutely. I used to always say when I was doing therapy, listen, I can come in and put an earth toned scarf on and give you a cup of tea and tell you everything you're doing is right and everybody in your life is wrong and then collect my $200. If you want to do that, I could do that all day.
Oh,
Or I can push you a little bit, make you feel uncomfortable, and actually help your life change in the way you said you wanted it to change when you started. And of course, everybody's like, oh, no, I want you to do that. I want you to do that. Right. But a lot of therapists won't do that. They won't
come
have the
on.
courage to
Come
do that.
on. Yes.
And they won't push you and they won't call you out on your BS. And it's the same thing like in a workplace. Like the A players are going to leave if you're
Yes.
not pulling for the best from everybody
Yeah.
because they're like, I need to be someplace better. And that's kind of how it was with bad therapists, is it was just sort of like, I don't, we're kicking the can here. And I got too much on my plate for me to just come in and, kiki with somebody. I don't
Yeah.
need to do
Yeah.
that. Like I can do that with my friends.
You can do
And I
that with
do.
me. You can do that with
Yeah.
me. Listen.
Yeah, I don't have to like I got all day long I could do that. But and they're gonna go, Colleen, that was so wrong, even though I was probably the one that was in the wrong. But the therapists, the good ones, are like, now hold on. I know where you're going with this, and we're not even going there because and they'll do and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
that's the stuff that sits with you and you
Yeah.
do actually get change.
Yeah. Oh man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Shout out to all of your therapists, the ones you've outgrown, the ones that you haven't even met yet, and big shout out to
Gosh.
my own therapist, Dr. Ho. What up, Ho?
His name is not Ho.
Name is Ho. That is her.
God, that
Her
is
that's her
funny.
alias. So everybody has an alias. I got a team. I got a team of people, and their identity is safe until they decide to share it. So her alias is Ho, like Dr. Ho. She really
Amazing.
is Dr. Ho. So that's what our name is, and she's going to be on a podcast. She don't even know it yet, and I expect she'll be here before the end of the year because this is all a part of this whole experience. Like, name
Love
one
it.
podcaster or one therapist or counselor educator that you know who has a therapist and have them on the podcast. Like, what are the chances? That's
What
what
if
I'm
she
doing.
gets on here and her personality is just so different?
Oh, I doubt it. I doubt it because
Oh,
because this is my belief. This is so good, Colleen. Again, we can do this all day. We can do this all day because now we done bent the left. Now you brought Spicy J out, and Spicy J
yeah.
does not play. I'm all over the place. Okay, you allowed me to do this. My belief is because me and her are so different. I'm so on 12 and 25, and she's about on a 3, and it's a good fit because
Yeah.
being on 25, you and I are usually on 25. We got one hand to the sky. That's the balloon.
Yeah.
Then you got the string. So she's a
Yeah.
string person. I'm a balloon person. But when you tie that string and balloon together, you got a match made in heaven. So that's
Yeah.
what we have. So she has, and I'm just saying it. And hey, Dr. Ho, I know you're listening. She has fear related to the sandbox of what we were taught and told when it comes to becoming a helping professional. We were taught
Hmm.
exactly how to do this, which is very black and white, which does not relate or connect to the reality of our life, meaning
Yeah.
humanism. Not black and white. It's gray.
Right.
So once she allows herself, this is just my belief, my assessment. I don't know. She gonna share. Once she allows herself to get out of the sandbox and hang out on the beach, we're gonna have our episode together. And I expect that's gonna
Mm.
happen because I'm speaking it now. And to me, the healing and powerful journey for people to learn and hear about Dr. Ho and then really meet her and hear her journey and her story. And knowing that person helped me, the person who's
Hmm.
podcasting and living this life and connecting with people like you, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Everybody wins. I'm gonna have my mom on the show. Everybody
Oh,
wins. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, everybody wins. That's why I'm doing this. I can't see nothing
yeah.
else. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this until I can't. And when I can't is when I'm dead.
I love it.
Holla!
You were made for it. You were made for it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
Yeah.
you. Now we're gonna
Yeah.
get back to this main role because again, we can do this for another 3 hours. So and I'm Spicy. For those who don't know Spicy J is like Juicy J. And for
Mhm.
those who know about Juicy J said something about a strip club. It ain't a strip club if they're not showing certain things in the club. And for me, it's not a podcast if I ain't on it. That's Spicy J. Back to the show, baby. Question: what is a word, phrase, moment, memory that has stuck with you personally and professionally you want to share with the listeners?
That has stuck with me. Well, given it's early 2026, this mantra keeps coming up, which I guess is going to be my mantra for 2026, which is take it easy.
Come on. Come on.
Take
And
it
that's it.
easy.
That's it.
Yeah. Like I'm
That's
always the bag lady. I'm always carrying like things, like schlepping, always. So many things. I'm like, you're just gonna go to the meeting and you're
yeah.
not gonna like do an Amazon drop off. Just gonna go to the meeting and that's it. One thing.
I need to call Amazon to pack you up and get you.
Just take
You
it
are
easy.
you are so good at this. Oh, Colleen, you are a blessing. Okay, you are a blessing. Two more, and we're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
Um, what's something that people wouldn't believe about you?
Ooh, I was a video hoe on the Busta Rhymes Annie Up music
You
video.
you kidding?
Come on.
I got a video vixen on the
Hmm. Hmm.
podcast. Let's go.
I'm the girl that bangs the cage
Are
like
you
that from the inside.
serious?
Yeah.
Yo, if y'all don't know, look in the description. There's gonna be a link. There will be a link to the Busta
Minute
Rhymes
two, three,
video.
four. No,
You said no, I'm just gonna put the link. If
but
y'all see
no,
it, y'all see it. If you don't, you don't.
I have a deep passion and love for all things hip hop, like all things, because I grew up, I was a 90s kid, loved it. And so I still do hip hop dance every Thursday night. But when I was in college, I went to NYU and there
Mhm.
was a calling for, come down to what it was like Coney Island or something and be in a Busta Rhymes video. And I was like,
Wow. Wow.
and you had to
That
be there at 5 a.m. And it was the most insane. It was one of the best
okay,
peak moments of my life.
one more time. I'm being spicy. What's the name of the video? What's the name? What song?
Annie up.
Annie up. Oh my good. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. To the listeners, it's gonna be like Where's Waldo? But we're gonna do Where's
Oh,
Colleen.
it is.
Because
Because it's like
that's
a
a
blip.
right, and that's a different version of you. That's a different woman.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
can't see you on that type of video at this time.
Oh,
But
no.
you might. Don't let me disrespect you.
Yeah. Listen, I still got it at 45.
Colleen 45. I'm so done. All right, last thing before we
Oh,
get out of here. On this show, I don't do homework. Homework, you take it home, you do it, you never remember it. We do life work, and life work allows you to pivot by doing the work. So if you can offer something to the listeners to allow them to pivot, what would it be?
ooh, ooh. I love the book 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Berkman. If
Okay.
you read nothing else, and I mean by read it, put it on Audible as you're going to bed every night. 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Berkman. It's about how we're all here for 4,000 weeks on average. And he puts it in perspective. And like all of our toiling and like, I got to get this done and I got to get these taxes in doesn't really matter. Like, honestly, nobody gets out alive. And
Yeah.
so, like, putting it in perspective that way was such a huge shift for me a couple years ago reading that book.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Colleen. A blessing. So you heard it here first. 4,000 weeks, which is I'm adding to my list as well. So thank you for blessing me. I'm diving
Hmm.
into that. You said Oliver Berkman.
Hmm.
That will be in the link too. So not only are you going to get the video, you're going to get some education too. And if y'all want to donate to the
Quite a
cause,
mix.
come
Quite
on.
a mix
That's
of
what makes us
links.
great. Okay. In addition to that, if you want to support Colleen on her journey of life, she got a
Go to
cash
the
app.
Cash App.
Go to the cash app. Baby. Go to the cash app. Donate to the cause, baby.
Oh my
Donate to
God.
her. Give her an Uber gift card too.
Oh,
She
yes.
got to go. Colleen, for those who want to connect you in any capacity, they want to serve as your client, they want to be your friend, they want to kiki with you, whatever, they want to buy product services. If anybody wants to connect with you, get involved, get access, how can they?
Just go to my website, drcolleenlong.com. Two L's, two E's in long, like Colleen Long distance, drcolleenlong.com.
Done and done. You are phenomenal. The last thing, any final thoughts, final words, anything you want to share before you get out of here today?
I just want to say this is so fun and it's like not dry. I feel like sometimes it can be so like we're like, and then the ethical implications of this is, and then we'll figure this out.
Th-
And it's not that.
That's
It doesn't
that's
have to be that way.
and it doesn't have to be that way. And we didn't know that way was not the best way for us without having us. So
Right.
this is why, and this is why we connected. So I'll keep it brief because for those who listen, you've heard a previous episode about how me and Colleen connected, and the simplicity of it is you saw another lighthouse because you're a lighthouse,
Hmm.
and you saw somebody with this energy that you share as well, and we mirrored each other. Because I don't know
Yeah.
how this could have happened, and I'm thankful to have this sister from another
Hmm.
mister because we're going somewhere collectively, and we have a collective, we have a community, we have a culture that we're building because it doesn't have to be the way that we were taught and told that it has to be, and that
Right.
typically didn't come from people like us.
Hmm.
I just want to talk about facts. This is the difference between the beach and the sandbox, balloon and string. And
Hmm.
for us, this is us giving you all that's listening permission to be exactly who you are. You are enough.
Hmm.
Colleen, you have been a blessing to me. I don't care what y'all think. Colleen, you've been a blessing. You've been a blessing to me, to the Gators, to the honey buns. Take advantage. And what I mean
Yeah.
by that, what Colleen has offered in all aspects, if you don't know something, something's unfamiliar, look it up, look into it.
Hmm.
This was just a preview. This is just exposure, but exposure is one thing, education is another. So educate yourself about what she educated us on. And I also give flowers. So this is your second bouquet. This is a whole nother room in a cabana. All flowers just for you, for all you do, for all you've done, for who you are, and inviting me into your space. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being on this show.
I
And I
appreciate you.
cannot
Thank
wait.
you.
Yes, indeed. I cannot wait to see where we end up. So thank you.
There.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Whew,
you.
man, I'm tired. I need to go take a nap.
I'm
Folks,
sweating. I need to take a shower.
to the left, we was in the basement. Hey, it get dirty
Yeah.
in the basement, y'all. If you ain't dirty over there, you ain't working hard enough. Okay, I
No.
need you to get dirty. This has been another episode of Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, embrace who we are, make room for who we're trying to become. You have found your family. You have found your home, and if you haven't, come back when you get done. That is it. That is all. Peace.